Y'all tell me this, does your company pay overtime? Yeah, we're going to talk about overtime pay here for a minute. Now, there's the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938 that basically says that all companies have to pay their employees time and a half for hours worked over 40 hours a week. You're driving for a trucking company and you say, my company doesn't pay overtime. Why is that? Well, there's a carve out from that act that says if you are working for a company that is regulated by the Department of Transportation, they don't have to pay you overtime. Now, originally, I think that they say they thought that was to keep drivers from working too many hours, but that doesn't make sense to me. It seems to me like you make companies pay overtime, the companies will watch their hours, and the drivers won't get as many hours. I think that's how it's being used now some. But anyway, there are some companies, and I'm speaking LTL mostly, that pay their hourly employees overtime. There's some that don't, some that pay over 8 hours in the day, some that pay over 40, some that pay over 45, and I've heard some that pay overtime over 50 hours a week. I tell you that to tell you this. A House of Representative rep from Michigan has introduced an act, the Guaranteeing Overtime for Truckers Act, that will basically eliminate that clause from the Fair Labor Standard Act that talks about the DOT, or at least the truckers, getting overtime pay, and make companies pay overtime. I can't find a whole lot of details on this act. I think it's just been introduced and they don't have the whole bill in text form yet. It just basically summarized that there's a problem with the supply chain. Drivers are being detained all over the place, not getting unloaded or loaded, and that they're working way too many hours and not getting compensated for it. And this all goes back to the infrastructure bill that was signed last year. He wants to change it to where they do pay overtime, but there's not a lot of detail that I can find because it makes me have questions, right? Like I said, hourly employees. Now, at our company, they pay over 45 hours if you're an hourly employee. But I'm line haul. I get paid by the mile. How is this act going to affect me if I'm supposed to be able to get overtime? How are they going to figure out how I'm going to get paid for the hours over 40 that I work in a week? Because I usually work 65 hours a week average, give or take, is my on-duty time. So I don't know how they're going to figure that out. How are they going to figure out over-the-road truckload companies that have company drivers that are paid by the mile or percentage? How are they going to figure that out? How are they going to figure out owner-operators who are either working for a company that are leased onto a company and are being paid mileage or percentage, or owner-operators that have their own authority and just run on their own authority? How are they going to figure that out? I don't know. Can't find any details about this bill anywhere. But that's all I know right now. If you know something else, go down in the comments and let me know. If you have the text to this bill that has been introduced, leave them in the comments. Leave a link in the comments. I'd like to read it and then maybe talk about it. But that's what they're trying to do. How long is this going to take? I might be retired before it takes effect. Who knows? Because it's got to be passed by the House, got to be passed by the Senate, and the President has to sign it. I guess there's a 50-50 chance he will, because he's being pressured on the supply chain stuff and truckers. He's talked about how he wants to help truckers, but we'll see. How long is it going to take? Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what your company does. Do you get overtime for over 40 if you're hourly LTL? Do you get incentives when you work more hours as a line haul driver? I don't know. Tell me what you think. Now stick around and watch some more videos on my channel. I'd appreciate it. And if you've subscribed already, I appreciate it. If you have not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and hit the alarm notification bell, get notified of all the videos that I drop, and we'll see you later.